Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today I'm going to talk about Tales of the Walking Dead and give my ideas for what I would do if I could write season 2 of Tales of the Walking Dead. So a quick thank you for one of my subscribers for giving me this great video idea. So let's jump right into this with what I'll do for episode 1, The Tourist. And episode 1 would be about a man or a family stuck in another country like France and them having to deal with the fall of Paris on Monument Day. We've only got a few flashbacks in Daryl Dixon season 1 and season 2 of the fall of Paris. So imagine an entire episode dedicated to a man trying to keep his family together and failing throughout the night of the fall of Paris. It'd be a very great episode, and the episode can end with the man succumbing to the Walker virus himself and having the episode end very sad with the entire family dying on the first day of the apocalypse. And episode 2 is called When Things Get Better, and this would be an Abraham and Daniel episode. These are characters which have been confirmed to have met, but we have never seen it. So this episode would flesh out how Daniel survived the dam and where was he during the events of season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. This would take place almost immediately after the dam, but going up until when Abraham meets Eugene. So it could be a couple weeks, a couple months, and how Abraham and Daniel became close, how they got to that warehouse in season 5, and with Daniel sending off Abraham and Eugene, them going to Washington while he stays behind holding the cigar that Abraham leaves him so that he can smoke it when things get better. It'd be great to just flesh out the world a little more and to see these characters meeting up, which we've heard about meeting but never actually seen on screen. And episode 3 is called The Fall of Atlanta, and this is basically the original pilot of season 2. It would follow the soldier from the tank all the way in episode 1 of The Walking Dead, and would show how Atlanta fell. It wouldn't have any cameos from any other characters, would just follow that one Walker who is a man in this episode, and we could see how the military actually fell and how Atlanta became swarmed. This episode would be tragic like episode 1, with as the episode goes on, things keep getting worse. You could have a group of characters, and by the end of the episode, it is just that one man in the tank. This episode could start off with a proper plan, like they're going through and it actually working well, but then suddenly the military and command stops giving orders, and then soon ammo runs low and the walkers start to grow in numbers and they start to run out of resources. We could have a little battle at the CDC but have no cameos from any of the other characters, which is what we originally was going to get in season 2's premiere with cameos from Andrea and Amy. There'd be nothing like that. It would just focus solely on the military and how they fell in Atlanta and how bad things really were at the start of the apocalypse. Now episode 4 is the Second Civil War, and this would follow the origin of the CRM and what we heard about in The Ones Who Live. The main characters would obviously be Okafor and General Beale on two sides of the Civil War. You have Okafor with the army and the government, and then you will have Beale leading the National Guard, and this could be told in an extended 1-episode story, I think. The episode could open with either the bombing of Atlanta or the bombing of LA, and have Okafor feeling this guilt afterwards with his wife. We get to meet his wife, and we can have them come up with the plan of maybe they're the bad guys, while you have Major General Beale fighting the dead, but also fighting the army in Pittsburgh, and you can have some big battles, but also we would understand more about the CRM, see how Major General Beale was able to get people to rally to his side, and most importantly, see how the CRM was actually formed. We have heard about it, but imagine actually seeing, after the Civil War, Okafor landing over, meeting Major General Beale for the first time, and them forming the CRM together. And this episode could also end with a small cameo of Rick Grimes many years later waking up in the hospital. We know it was filmed for The Ones Who Live, so you won't need to get Andrew Lincoln back again to film. You could just reuse that footage from The Ones Who Live, which is unaired, and just put it right at the end of this episode, which would be really, really cool. Now, episode 5 and 6 together would be a two-parter, and they would be called The Rise of the Governor Part 1 and The Rise of the Governor Part 2. And this story would be about how the governor dealt with day one, how he lost his brother, how he lost his daughter, and how he became the man we saw in season 3. And I'm giving this 2 episodes because the rise of Governor storyline would be a big thing. You can't do this in 1 episode. However, David Morrissey would love to come back, and a Tales of the Walking Dead season 2 hypothetically would be the perfect time. You could bring him back for 2 episodes, have episode 1 be about the governor and his family trying to escape Atlanta, and it may be about them actually being nice people right at the start of the apocalypse, but like in the books, the governor's brother is this more sadistic character, and this could actually end with episode 5 with the governor's brother dying and the governor having to go on with just his daughter. Going to episode 6 would have big events like the founding of Woodbury, but also the death of his daughter, and the episode should end, in my opinion, with the governor finally committing his first acts of evil in the apocalypse. You could leave a lot of the evil stuff to his brother in episode 5, but episode 6 could deal with him dealing with that guilt and him becoming like his brother, and maybe even just like the source material, have the governor take on his brother's name, Philip Blake. And that is where you would leave this story, just setting up the governor to become the man that he was in The Walking Dead season 3. And that is it for my idea for a season 2 of Tales of the Walking Dead. And once again, a quick thank you to Hanzo for giving me this great video idea. It was really fun making this idea. And I tried to have season 2 have a theme with all the stories taking place near the start of the apocalypse. Even the Abraham and Daniel one takes place months in, but it still takes place within maybe the first 4 to 5 months of the apocalypse. And I didn't want really any like years in storylines. I wanted all the characters to be very new to walkers, or at least new to the scenarios that they are in. So please tell me down below, what would your ideas for Tales season 2 be? What stories would you want to be told in a potential Tales of the Walking Dead season 2, or more likely in more Tales of the Walking Dead universe, or from the Walking Dead universe? This is it for me today, so thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later.